Welcome. Exciting day today. We are on our way to Treherne, Manitoba. I'm Rob Tatro. This is my brother, Charlie.
Yeah, that's me.
Again, level of excitement, probably a 6 on 10. Should be maybe a 7 or 8. We're on our way to a race, dude.
6 is high for me.
I know, but we're on our way to a race, and you've had 4 gallons of coffee.
Yeah.
By the way, we had to go back this morning to get Charlie's coffee. He forgot it. 2 special guests today. We're running a race. By the way, this is the running journey. The number 1 ranked podcast, growing podcast in the health and fitness space in the male 30 to 45 age group. So thank you guys for doing that. We appreciate it. Simo, Chris, Marissette, hello.
How are you doing?
Really good.
Having me back.
4 on the excitement scale. That's pretty good. 4 on 10. He's running a marathon and he's at a 4. And we also got Eric Thibault. Thibault, how you feeling?
Feeling good. Glad to be part of the entourage.
Okay, 3.5 on 10. 3.5. All right. You know who's probably a 9 on 10 right now? Frank Grains-Grenier and Paul Fluff-Grenier. Those guys are pretty pumped too. So they have this Treherne Marathon. We're on our way to this Treherne Marathon. They have 50 runners, Charlie? 30 runners?
I don't know. Last time I ran the Treherne,
You never ran the Treherne.
I ran the Treherne half marathon, and a farmer in jeans beat me. So.
Oh yeah, I did hear this story.
I saw online that they have about 400 people signed up for all.
Yeah, but there's a 5K, 10K.
Yeah.
We are going to be 25% of the race, I think, because there's 6 of us, right? There's us 4, and then the 2 grains is. Let's talk goals today. Let's talk, or how are we feeling? How are we feeling? You guys eat well? CV, first off.
Is this an A race though for you guys? First of all.
Well, not for Chris, I don't think.
No,
right?
it's not an A race.
Okay.
CV?
B, C.
This is the A race.
Yeah, this is his first ever marathon.
Is this your first marathon ever?
First
Let's
marathon.
go.
Oh, let's
wow! He's gonna get
go.
de-virginized.
Let's go. Let's go.
Holy, that is the moment.
Yes, this is a moment. Now, oh my God.
Man, is it his first?
His first
Oh,
marathon.
no,
Think of
that's-
your first marathon.
That is oh man. You're
His
so
first
lucky.
marathon, Paul's
You're
first
so
marathon.
lucky.
You're never going to forget this.
And he's like,
this is going to be the first.
why did I go with those bozos to this marathon? How are we feeling today?
First podcast, first marathon.
Yeah,
no pressure
yeah,
today.
no
Nobody's
pressure.
listening.
Nobody's listening.
Nobody
Nobody's
hears your goals before that you didn't want to tell them.
No, but now the great
Oh,
news
you
about
got
this
it.
podcast is you have to share. You have to
Yeah.
share. Wait, first off, how are you feeling today? Sleep-wise, nutrition, everything went well?
Excited.
I did my marathon block. Everything was great.
How long was your block?
3 months.
Or build, as some would say?
Build,
Like
yeah.
12, 13 weeks kind of thing?
Yeah. How many miles did you
Woke up
peak
feeling
at?
sick a little bit, so we'll see how this goes.
Okay.
Oh, that doesn't matter.
Details.
Power through.
All right, well, Simo, I don't even think I want to talk to you. I think I want to talk to you today. But I will ask you, Simo, you feeling good today?
Yeah, I feel pretty good.
This is your, what would this be, your 4th marathon?
This is my second.
Second, okay.
You did your first at Manitoba this year?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
So this is like a B race for you? Because, I mean,
This
but you
is
did do a build.
This is an experimental race.
Okay. You want to try the hills? You want to try just...
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
Okay, right on. So there's a lot of things. If you've been listening to this podcast, you guys know that we are supposed to be pacing. We are pacing my 2 cousins, Frank Grains-Grenier and Paul Fluff-Grenier, but they're in a separate car because we couldn't fit 8 people in a car. They're also going with his kids. Charlie, the plan was for you to... I was supposed to pace Grains and Charlie was supposed to pace Fluff. I got this lingering hip thing that's happening, so coach told me no speed work, so I am doing a half marathon today, which is crazy because it sucks. It sucks so bad.
Not impressed.
No, I know.
Considering the full though. Considering.
No, I can't. I know I could run it.
No, coach said no. So
Coach said no, and I'm so committed to Chicago that I'm not. That's
Good
that.
job. You've
I'm not-
matured.
I have matured.
Yeah.
I texted Grains this. I said, sorry, Grains, bad news. I can't do that. And he's like, but I said, I'm still going to go with you guys and I'm going to hang out. He said, don't do that, Rob. I said, why? Because you're going to bring your shoes. You're going to want to, and next thing you know, you're trying to get on the podium and you're running a 3 hour. I said, Grains, that will not happen. That's not going to happen today.
Don't run a 1:30 half though.
No, I'm going to run 9-minute miles, which is exactly what I'm supposed to run.
Okay.
Plus or minus, depending on how I feel. But who cares about how I feel? I want to hear about Sive. Sive, how did the build go?
Really well, actually. I've tried to marathon build before and got injured every single time, so this is the first time that I could go slow enough, long enough, and everything went well. 5 hours a week, roughly, of running, plus a couple strength, and a week, and then we're here.
How do you pick Treherne as your first marathon?
Manitoba was supposed to be the first one in June.
Oh, yeah, and then you got injured.
But
there.
I got injured.
Yeah.
So I said, I bought one of those programs just for the heck of it, give me a goal. And then halfway through, I was like, I think I can do this. And I failed to look at the elevation map until about 2 weeks
It's not
ago.
that
It's
bad.
not terrible.
It's not that bad.
Not terrible.
No,
There's
it's
one
not that
hill.
bad.
There's one big
One hill, and then you're gonna plateau a little bit for 10 or 15 for 15 or 20 kilometers, and then the last stretch is downhill.
Yeah, the last second half is downhill.
Yeah,
It's like Boston.
it's probably gonna be a personal best for you, I think.
I got a real shot,
I think you're gonna get a personal
I
best.
think
Got a
so.
real shot.
You know,
So the training. Did you have a pretty event-free training schedule? Did you hit 95% of your runs?
I probably got 80 plus,
Okay.
but took out some runs to add in some strength just
Okay.
to make sure I could do it.
Okay, and you peaked long run at like 18 miles? Did you?
17 and a half, I
Okay.
think. Yep.
Okay, so not 27 like Reigns, but
Not 26 at race pace like Charlie?
24.
two weeks before.
24.
2 weeks before the
24.
race.
I
Great.
finished that big run feeling like I could go on forever at a slow pace. So
That's good.
You
That's
feel
good.
good about
You're
it.
ready, buddy.
Yeah, a little bit of words of wisdom about my miles 18 to 26, Charlie.
Well, that's when it starts, but
Let's hear about Sylvie's goals first.
yeah.
You kind of have to share. Sorry, you're on a
Kinda have to
podcast.
share?
Well, you could lie.
So personal best is the first goal, obviously.
Okay, so completing it.
I had an outside goal of finishing sub 340, but I think low 340s is my real goal, and no worse than 4 hours.
Okay, so a goal. I'd say your kind of main target goal is to break 4. Is that how you would word it? And then would your stretch goal be sub 340?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good
And
one.
what's your strategy going into it?
Future
That's a
co-host.
good one. So the 824 is what I need to average for a 340, right? A mile. So I figured if I got 845,
Maybe like 317, 315, or 815, 817 for 3.
Sorry, you're saying
yeah.
minutes per kilometer, minutes per mile?
minutes per mile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
820s you need to do?
824, I think,
Okay, for 340.
for a 340.
I believe you. I won't pull
So I
up my
figure
chart.
if I go 15, 20 seconds more on the way up, I'll shave the time off on the plateau to the way down. So
Okay.
you go 810-ish for the rest of it.
Okay. You
That's
sound
my
like Charlie. He's been listening to your
So you're thinking-
podcast.
You're thinking like 835s, 840s for the first half,
Yeah.
and then second half.
A negative split might be a big goal for the first marathon, but we'll,
Dude, if you can,
Oh, if you can
there's
do
like
that.
2% of people that have ever pulled off a negative split
Yeah.
in their first
No
marathon.
one ever does it.
No one ever does it. And
I mean, any marathon. Never mind your first.
Yeah.
So I've run. How many have I run?
8, I think.
8. I think I have
I have some
two
splits.
negative splits,
Yeah.
maybe only.
Yeah.
And that's probably more than average.
What about
I
you?
really consider Boston was actually a negative, even though it was a positive split. The second half is so much harder.
Whatever makes you sleep at night.
Yeah.
Whatever makes you sleep at night. Simo, what's your goal? You're asking numbers there. Are you somewhere around that? No, you're way
Yeah.
faster than that. Yeah, I think-
Well, no, I think I'll be around the same time as Nick here. Like I think first marathons are hard, and I think this course will demand a lot of respect just in terms of the hills. I know they might not be as bad, but like Manitoba Marathon is flat, gravel course, which is fine.
Is it a gravel course?
It's a gravel course.
These are details I should probably
gravel
know.
course.
So-
but wait. Course. It's going to be 8 degrees at the start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So heart rate should be a little lower, hopefully, which would be nice because it hasn't been like that in a while. So yeah, I mean, I think I'd be happy with 340. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to try to experiment with some slower pacing at the start, and just try not to blow up on the back end. Like
So
I
you
did
guys
last time.
might be a similar-ish pace. You guys might see each other out there on the course, potentially.
Yeah, that'd be great. 'Cause it could be pretty lonely out there.
I'm the official 4-hour pacer. So
I brought the badminton paddle.
yeah.
I brought the
Oh,
345.
Yeah. No, I'm not the official 4-hour, but that's what I expect to pace. My cousin will probably do faster than that, but
Which one? Putt?
Frank.
You're pacing grains.
yeah, I'm pacing grains. I think he might be doing faster than 4, but
Well, he might be around CV. The goals might be identical. He might have a stretch goal of 340.
Yeah, maybe, but
Yeah. But that's also his. I mean, he's done 2 marathons before, but they were 22 years ago. So he's probably going to forget. The one thing that
he did run a 27 miler. So
he did run a 27 miler. The one thing I'll tell you, TV, I'm sure you know this, but yeah, marathons are hard for sure. But also, man, did you see the quote I put on Strava this week about you? It was so good.
Yeah.
You didn't like it?
I like it, but I'm embarrassed.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Why? It's a great quote. It's why you're wise, Charlie.
Yeah. What did I say?
You said,
the marathon starts
tapering, and you're saying how your legs are supposed to feel sore while you're working out, and then you taper, and then that taper is going to help you because during the last 6 miles of the day, that's when you make or break a marathon. It's not in the first 18.
Yeah.
Everyone can run 18 miles.
But I think it was a bit out of context because I think what I was trying to say is that in those long runs in weeks 3 or 4, like 3 and 4 and before the marathon.
Yeah. 3 weeks out, 4 weeks out.
That's
the toughest two
races.
races.
That's when your mileage is peaking and your legs should feel tired for those runs.
It was a longer quote, but I couldn't put 3 minutes of you soliloquy on
the point was that your legs should feel tired for those because you're really training for that last 6 miles because that's really the first 20 miles of the marathon are not the marathon. It's like the last 6 miles that matter. Right?
I think you just repeated the exact same thing. So I agree with you wholeheartely. And today is a reminder of how hard it's going to be at the end because so your strategy of starting slow, I cannot advocate for it enough. Everyone I run with all the time, I ran with a group of 30 or 40 runners that wanted to do a 3:45 in Manitoba at the Manitoba Marathon. People that had trained, people that were going to do 3:45. 0 of them finished 3:45. 0. So I'm not saying that they obviously it was a long course. Mile 19 screwed us. It was a weird day.
Very tough day.
But
very tough day.
Regardless, it's hard. It's hard. Those last 6 miles are going to be hard, and that's when you're going to figure out what you're made of. So, I mean, I am pulling for you today so hard. Regardless, you're going to have a great freaking day, and it's going to be something you'll never, ever forget. I never forget my first marathon. Never forget my first Ironman. Anyways, and Simo, you're...
But I would say out of all the feelings I've ever had in running, finishing that first marathon is the best feeling that I've ever had. It was like... to me... I never thought I would do a marathon at that point. And there was a point in my life where I never thought I would do a marathon, and then when you finally do one, it's like, I don't know, that's the best feeling I've ever had in my life.
That'll be the quote that I'm going to cut and put on Strava. That's so good.
Except for having my 2 kids, obviously, and marrying my wife.
Yeah. Those we know. We're talking about
in my
running life, like non family moments. Sive, are you worried about those last miles? Do you have any thoughts about them?
No, actually.
Way to go, Charlie. You ruined it for this guy.
It's downhill. That's the whole point.
Downhill.
That's why. If it wasn't downhill, I wouldn't try a negative split. But because it's downhill, you just play with the course.
Yeah, and hopefully, do you know if they have mile signs here?
Gotta watch.
Oh, yeah, so that reminds me. I'll go out a lap today.
Oh my God, we're just pulling up a sign that says Treherne welcomes you. Home of the Treherne Marathon. Let's go. All right, we are arriving here in Treherne. We're going to come back and finish this episode when we get back, unless it was a disaster of a day and we're not recording because people are depressed or whatever, which may happen. But no, we're going to record regardless. Does anyone know where we're going here?
Nope.
Okay.
Should have checked the website.
Should have checked the website.
I got a good idea.
It's exciting. Sive, regardless what happens, good on you for being here. You, as Marlene Bagato would say, you put on your shoes. That's 99% of better than what everyone else is doing. You put on your shoes today. Simo, you also put on your shoes. I'm also putting on my shoes. This will be depressing for me, but whatever. Who cares about me? And Charlie, you're going to pace our cousins, which that'll be fun. I'm guessing it's a turn here, right?
Can't wait to pace I have a strategy.
Charlie spent 40 hours building out a plan for his 2 cousins, and so you 4-5 might all see each other kind of all over the course
because there's not a lot of people on this course.
On top of that. All right, Treherne, Manitoba, run for the hills. By the way, we beat these guys in the semifinals, Treherne, of the 1998 volleyball Provincial A finals. The Treherne, whatever they're called, Treherne Tiger Hills? Whatever. Anyways, Treherne Marathon today, one day only. Let's go. Well, the Treherne Marathon is in the books. What a great day. I had a fantastic day. Beautiful run out there. A lot of great volunteers, great aid stations. Let's get right into the interviews and the post-race analysis. First two interviews coming up. I got my cousin Grains Grenier and my other cousin Paul Fluff Grenier. We'll get those two guys up right away here. And then after that, we'll do a full debrief with Simo, Tive, my brother, and I. Listen up, guys. Stay tuned. This is a really good one. All right, we're here with Grains. Just finished the Treherne Marathon. Bit of background noise here, but sub 4 is in the books. Congratulations on completing your first ever sub 4 marathon, a personal best for you today. So proud of you. Congratulations. How do you feel?
I feel sore, but great. It was a tough run out there, lots of hills. Stuck with my plan, and it worked out good. I had my paces down and kept looking at the phone, and I was hitting exactly where I wanted.
What was your okay, so you talked about a plan to kind of start at like a 4:05 pace and to
So like I went by kilometers per hour just because that's what my so 10.3 to start off, and then try to once we get through most of the hills, I was gonna try to bring it up to a 10.6, and then
so 10.3 is 6 minute, 10 is 6 minute kilometer.
Yeah, so 10.3 is like 5:50.
Yeah,
and then 10.6 after that. Or like about my plan was about 7 to 10 to 12, depending where the big hill was.
Yeah.
And then
he's got a little post-it note on the inside of his phone.
10.6 is
5:39, and 11.3 is 5:20.
11.3 was where I was gonna try, if seeing how I feel, to push for an 11.3 later on. And I was using the downhills as much, like I was cruising down the hills and then slowing down and trying to keep at 10.3. Up the hills kind of thing. So
okay, so you did a negative split then? You succeeded in doing that?
I checked.
Like, what was your time at half roughly?
2
hours at half. Yeah, so
about,
you finished, would you finish 56?
56, yeah.
3:56. So that's a significant negative, Grains. That's fantastic. That means you didn't collapse in the last 10
No,
10K.
Stuff was going in the head a bit, but knowing that it was just a few miles left, I knew I could do it. Like,
so I'll tell you what I think, and maybe you know this, but I guarantee you the 27 miler helped, because you knew what to expect. I mean, you've done marathons 22 years ago. Maybe you could draw on that and remember how it felt, but those are not easy, right? Miles 20, 21, 22, 23.
Well, Simo talked to me before. He's like, 21 is where the real marathon starts.
He sounds like Charlie.
so I was like, okay, just let's get to 21. And let's push it after that and see where we're at. And I felt good at 21.
And you were at 21. You're like, I can still go here.
Yeah, and it helped because there's a few downhills, and it just boosted the morale. Like I'm like, oh, a downhill. And
the last stretch was downhill, right?
Not everything.
No, but there's a little bit here and there.
Enough to give you a boost.
Yeah.
And to keep my average pace higher, because I was at 21. I was at 10.69, and I'm like, I need 10.6 for a 3:58, and I'm like, I need to keep going here.
Yeah.
So,
but 3:58 didn't really matter. It's 3:59.59 that you really needed to get, right?
Well, I said on the podcast 3:58
plus 3:58. What is that? Is that a record for anyone? Is that a family record? No, that you have the belt in your family for the fastest marathon
right now.
Yeah,
but Paul
does not have you beat. Paul, we're sitting at the finish line here. You just finished, and he has not come through yet. So he's going to be behind you today, but he is training hard, and you're saying he might try to beat you? He's got the bug?
Yeah, he's got the bug.
Nice. And so I saw the first, my course was the same as yours till mile 8 or something.
Yep.
And then you guys went one way and I went a different way.
Yep.
Mile 5 and 6 there, the kilometer 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yep.
There were like 4 kind of pretty big hills in a row. How'd you feel on those?
I actually, that's where I was passing people. So that's a morale boost kind of thing. I just kept a pace.
You were probably sprinting up the hills.
No, not sprinting, but keeping a good pace. I wasn't walking.
I've told this story before, Grains in New Brunswick. Why don't we sprint up the hills, Rob? Because that way they'll be done quicker.
I still had that in mind. If I can just keep like a 10.3 or close to that going up, at least they're done. And then I know there should be a downhill, but there's a few that there was no downhill after. It was more of a flat, but all in all, it went really good.
Oh, great.
I had some great coaches. Rob, thanks.
Yeah,
Charlie as well.
Charlie, yeah. I'm so happy you got this done today, and I saw your family. Luke finished second in the 5K.
It's right here.
Yeah, he finished second in the 5K, and he went the wrong way or something.
He did an extra 0.5 kilometers.
So his son finished second in the 5K, and Marie-Ange, I think, did well. I don't.
Her personal best she did today. So
personal best there. Personal best for Luke. Personal best for you, Grains. Today, the Grenier family is having a day of personal best. So congratulations.
And Paul will be doing really good.
Well, he's never done a marathon.
He's never done.
So it will be a personal best by definition. Simo did a personal best. Eric Villefort did a personal best. First marathon.
Wow.
So it's a pretty cool day in the hills here. A little bit of heat here now that it's approaching
heat came
noon.
up now. Yeah.
Congratulations, Grains. And pick your next race. Let me know. We'll do it together.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay. I'm here with Paul Grenier. Paul just finished his first ever marathon. Congratulations, Paul. Very, very few people ever put on the shoes and attempt a marathon. I'm very proud of you. You came and you ran with me at Run with Rob in New Brunswick. I guess you got a bit of an urge to run, and today you completed 26.2 miles. How do you feel? Congratulations.
Initial, feel like crap, but I know right deep down inside there, I'm pretty proud of myself for finishing it. I know it doesn't happen overnight, getting ready for a marathon, so it's been a long road, getting the miles in, like Rob would say. And today was the day, and as much as I don't feel that great physically, I'm pretty excited inside. I finally have done it. I've knocked off the marathon now, so we'll see what's up next.
I personally guarantee you will remember this day for the rest of your life. You are now. I have chills just thinking about it because I'm thinking about my first marathon, and you did it. Like you did, like a year ago. Did you think you'd ever do a marathon? Like, was that even on the radar?
That was definitely not on the radar. Even doing half marathons was not even really on the radar. I know this year started season with 2 half marathons for Run with Rob, and all of a sudden
back to back days you did 2 half marathons.
Yeah, and then one race after the other, Manitoba half, and then
CMV Canada half.
No, that was no
that
CMV. Yeah,
because you did the Manitoba.
The Manitoba, and then today.
The miles of training, the hours in the bush by yourself in Saint-Laube, Manitoba, on country roads and dirt roads, and getting up early before work, it all paid off, Paul. You're an inspiration. I'm proud of you. I love you. You did it today. Congrats, buddy.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks. Congrats on you finishing yours half too today.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Now go inside, drink some chocolate milk, have a burger, have a muffin, celebrate, buddy. You did it. For the rest of your life, you are a marathoner. Congrats.
Thank you.
And we're done. The Treherne Marathon in the books. So you heard on this episode just now the preamble to the race. I think largely things, as hard as marathons are and as difficult as it was, I think things went largely close to as expected for the three of you inside of this car. We got Simo, Chris, Morissette with us. Simo, what did you run today?
I have to double check. Was it 3:40?
3:45:55.
3:45:55. There we
Yeah,
go.
just beat 3:46, which was kind of in the wheelhouse of what you thought you'd do.
I think it's pretty much bang on.
Yeah. Sive, you came in just a few minutes behind. I want to say 3:50, 3:51, something like that.
My watch says 3:50:24.
Okay, 3:50, 3:45. Those are really good times. Charlie, you were pacing Paul Grenier today. How was that?
It was fun.
4:18 or something like that?
4:17, yeah.
4:17?
4:17. Oh, yeah. 4:18. He probably was around 4:18, yeah.
4:18.
Forgot about the finish at the end.
I got to tell this quick story before we ask these guys how they did. So I'm sitting at the finish line because I did the half. And so I'm just kind of watching the runners come in, and all the runners are, they're pushing at the end. And then I see this guy. Who's that? It looks like my brother. It looks like Charlie. But there was this other guy next to him, and I knew that wasn't Paul. So I'm like, that can't be my brother because he's running with Paul. He's for sure running with Paul. All of a sudden, the guy behind Charlie starts pushing. A young kid, like a 20-year-old, starts pushing hard. And Charlie's just looking over his shoulder. And this guy's pushing hard, probably like 6:30 pace, 6:30 minute pace, minute a mile.
Close to that.
Like it was a full sprint, pretty sure. And this guy was thinking he was going to pass Charlie. It was hilarious. He was going hard. He's like, he's going to pass Charlie. And I'm like, that guy doesn't know that Charlie's a 3-hour marathoner and he's running a 4:20. And Charlie just did 5 hours on the bike yesterday and is in phenomenal shape, best shape of his life, and basically has no chance of passing Charlie.
Well,
but
he
it
was 20 years old though, so I mean, usually, yeah.
He came out hot too on the marathon.
a little, yeah, he came out hot on the marathon and a little too hot with his sprint. I think I would have waited another 50 yards maybe and like kind of tried the Rob Tatro cheap move, like, oh, I think the road is that way, and then you sprint and you beat the guy.
Yeah. It was one of my best marathon sprint finish at the end. For
Your best that I've ever seen
20th,
in my life.
For 20th.
Oh, on top of that, it was for 20th place. And what was the prize for 20th, Charlie?
Water bottle.
Water bottle. It was the 20th year anniversary episode, and 20th place on the nose got a water bottle. So quick story, since I'm telling stories and I'm not letting anyone talk in this podcast. They're like, anyone who finished 20th, please come up. So I went and I checked. I finished 20th in the male half marathon. So I'm like, cool.
Male half. Nice.
Yeah. So I'm like, awesome. I won a prize. So I go to the thing. Said 20th male? No, sir. No. We only give for 20th overall half marathon. I said, oh, sorry. But thanks for coming anyways. And thanks for, okay, yeah, sorry. I could have run faster. Anyways, Charlie did finish 20th, got the prize. I want to ask you guys about those hills. First question. Anyone in the back here? Sive or Simo? What do we think about those hills?
I think it's one of those, you were going through them, they felt all right. Like, it went all right, we're all going. And then about mile 21, you're like, the hills are in your legs now. Like, for me at least. It wasn't going up them, but I will say I got surprised how many hills there were between mile 13 to 18?
It's supposed to be flat.
It was supposed to be flat, and then I was like, what the heck is this?
I felt like the hills didn't end until mile 20.
Yeah.
And that's when I kind of realized it was mostly downhill all the way home. But for sure, like, they weren't too bad. I think we were running together for the majority of them, and we paced them pretty well. We didn't go crazy on them. We made them fun, but then they added up over time. And when we turned to go west, it was a little uphill against the wind.
That was like the last 8K or something.
No, miles 14 to 18.
Oh, yeah. Okay, west. Sorry.
Yeah, and then that kind of added up. The wind was kind of nice, to be honest.
That was actually the hardest section. The second half of that, because it was uphill and against the wind.
Yeah. So it was quite challenging.
So you guys ran. Okay, so we started at the same pretty much spot.
Can I talk about the hills for a second?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I've done New York, I've done Boston. The hills here are way harder.
You can talk about anything you want. It's your podcast.
So to me, like I was not expecting the hills to be that significant, but they were. Those hills are. That's a tough course.
That's a tough course.
You were telling me, Charlie, tougher than Boston, tougher than New York.
Tougher than Boston, tougher than New York. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What do you think the elevation is on total on this? Did anyone get it? Because New York was.
I'll show you.
I don't care what the numbers say.
No. I'm just asking.
Yeah.
Just asking.
The runs, it said 1,000 on the map.
Okay, so 900 was New York, or 850 New York and 800 Boston, something like that. So a little bit more, and
But I think they're underestimated. They're more than that.
But they're very similar in style at Boston, right? Boston,
these are way steeper.
I only did half.
They're way steeper here.
They'd be comparable, right? I think in terms of distance. But anyways, I respect your opinion.
I think that there's only 4 hills in Boston, and they're long and they're not as steep. Here there was like 8 or 9, and every one wasn't long. They weren't long, so I'll give you that. But they were
steeper, and steeper is tougher because you can't keep your speed, and you're kind of burning a match. So tough.
Well, me and Pud I was like walking the steepest parts of the hills.
Right. Yeah, I only had. So the course itself, we started at the same spot pretty much, and then we had a 0.3 mile head start on you guys. So we were 0.3 miles ahead, and then you guys were 0.3 miles behind, and I kept expecting. Well, all of a sudden I hear Simo's voice in the back. I'm like, is that Simo? I saw Bob Cox pass me, and I'm like, well, he's doing the full.
Yeah.
So he passed me. So I'm like, I guess we're on the same course. So I was kind of like expecting to see Simo and Sive and then Grains and then you and then Paul. But when did we meet up?
Must have been
mile 3?
Yeah, mile 3. Yeah.
Mile 3. So they caught me on. I was doing 9-minute miles on the nose. That's what I did.
I'm curious about your guys' splits.
I'm trying to download and check.
I'm guessing Grains had a huge negative.
He did. He did a 2-hour first half, he told me. well, that you just heard on this podcast. You heard the episode with Grains.
Crushed it then. That's amazing.
And then 156 on the second half.
Yeah, it's a well-run race.
That's because he did that 27 miler. He knew what he was expecting.
27 miler did it, man. I don't care what they say, 27 milers, that's the way to go.
Yeah, make sure you take a couple easy days after, though. Yeah. Simo, do you know what your splits were?
No, I'm not 100% sure, but I definitely negative split. I think
the second half was significantly easier, but yeah.
Yeah, I thought it got easier at mile 20.
At 20,
mile
yeah.
20
when you turn that
mile
corner,
20 is mile 20.
When you turn the corner to go
Mile 20 is mile 20,
to
though.
go north, right?
Yes, yeah.
So I saw you guys on mile 3. We went together till mile 8, I want to say. We did those 3 tough miles in the hills.
Yeah.
Miles, whatever it was, 6, 7, 8, or 5, 6, 7, or... Do you remember those ones, Stevie? I think it was 5, 6, 7, I want to say, or 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, those were all hard.
Those were hard hills.
Yeah.
4, 5, 6.
Those were steep hills. And we were doing 9-minute miles there with you guys. I did 9-minute miles with you guys. And I remember saying, don't worry about losing time here on these miles. Like, don't worry about it.
Oh, I think me and Paul did a 10.5. We were doing mostly like 9.10s at the beginning, 9.20s. We did a 10.5 and then like a 10 on those hills.
Yeah.
At that point.
I was like, it's not a big deal. We could do 10-minute miles here. They'll be fine.
Yeah,
and
I don't regret the pace that we ran the hills. Like I thought we handled them pretty well.
And then as soon as those were done, I was like, hey, well, good luck.
Yeah.
And you guys went on ahead. And then Antoine was with you guys for a bit. Did he run with you guys?
Yeah. The
Antoine Cantablo.
The wind in the face killed him, I think.
Yeah.
We started losing him on that stretch of the
Miles.
highway.
I saw
16,
a lot of people go down.
We did well on that.
Because me and Paul actually passed a bunch of people on that stretch.
Wow.
And I think that's what killed him, though. But then they didn't pass us after. So, like, I mean...
Yeah, but think of how bad anyone who finished in 4:30. Think how bad their splits are, right?
Yeah,
or 4:40 or 4.
I got my split.
Yeah, I'm
But
curious.
the worst thing is, like, Paul, like, it starts getting easy at 20, and that's when he hit the wall, and he couldn't move anymore.
Yeah,
at
we'll
20.
get to that.
It says I did 26.3.
Your total is what, 26.3?
Yeah, on my
Yeah,
watch. So I did
same
about
here.
a buck 50, an hour 50 on the first, which leaves me roughly 2 hours on the second.
Yeah. Okay. So the
So you went out a bit too hard, that tells me.
When we
Classic
split,
first marathon.
mile 21 to 25, I was doing north of 8-minute miles. But apart from that, every other mile was sub 9.
sorry, north of 8 or north of
North of 9.
north of 9? Yeah.
But those were the easy miles, too.
Yeah, that's when the body came out.
Yeah, like when I was with you, we were averaging 8:36, 37,
Yeah.
something like that. And then after that, I felt like I was going anywhere between 8 and 8:15s.
When did you guys leave each other?
So, sorry, so Simo, you did do a negative?
Oh yeah,
Oh, nice.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
awesome.
definitely.
It's not easy doing negatives in a marathon.
No, we left. We parted ways at mile 20.
Yeah.
Bang on mile
Yeah.
20.
Okay, so wait a second. Your first half was 150 today?
Roughly speaking, yep.
Okay, so yours would have been the same, Simo?
Yep.
Yeah, we were together till mile 20.
So wouldn't that make your second half 154 or something like that? 155?
Oh, I guess.
Sorry, not to play the investigator.
No, I'm not.
Forensic.
Forensic.
Yeah, maybe not then.
Well, I don't know. I just because you guys ran most of it together.
Yep.
How was the conversation and the day and the?
It was huge to help with the uphills and the wind and all that. Like, for me, I didn't feel any pain until we split. And I was like, oh, there's the pain.
Oh, this sucks. Now he's gone. Now I'm by
Yeah,
myself with my thoughts.
I tried convincing him there was no pain,
Yeah.
and there wasn't.
There wasn't
I
until...
feel like I knew like 70% of the people running that marathon.
Same. I was getting like stop and chats during the race all the time.
Yeah.
And then, but that's I guess that's the Winnipeg community. And there was a lot of people from Winnipeg at this race.
Yeah.
And the full, I mean, you get people that are dedicated. So, did you guys have a conversation about like, no, you go ahead, or did Simo? You just said, all right, well, or did it kind of happen naturally?
No, I thought he was gonna come along with me, and I started running down the hill, and he's like, "Have a good run."
Keep in mind, Simo's about 8 inches taller than me. So when he strides down the
Strides
hills,
on the downhills.
like I'm
Yeah.
better probably up because of the little cadence, but on the way down I was like,
You were doing really good on those uphills today.
Yeah.
Really good. The big hills, your cadence, you were always ahead of us.
I thought about it. I thought about keeping up a bit longer, and I probably should have, but
But as much as the downs are some free speed there, it also like it adds up. Like it's different muscles.
Yeah, I
So
don't know.
you-
Something happened to Paul. He couldn't run on the downs at the end. Like,
Yeah.
I want to ask you about Paul, Charlie. I mean, we just heard from him on the podcast here. He said he felt like he feels terrible, feels a ton of pain, but he's very proud of what he did. He should be. He should be. Marathons are hard. First marathon for him. He had a hard time, you think, at the end, eh?
well, we were about 2:04 in the first half, I would imagine, and about 2:13. in
Okay,
the
that's
second
not
half.
that bad. That's not that
That's
bad.
not terrible, but we had a couple good miles from 13 to 19, and I think maybe that pushed him a little too hard, and I think maybe because then he couldn't run for the easy miles at the end.
Right.
It's like Boston. You got to keep yourself. It's very similar to Boston, this course.
These two boys in the back are analyzing their splits, and they're wondering why the math doesn't add up. Why does the math not add up?
very tight. Our watches aren't adding up exactly on where the 13.1 is. His is higher than mine, so you're within a 30 seconds to a minute of your splits.
Okay.
So on your watch.
Of doing a negative. Okay.
And I guess I just assumed that I'm negative split because I went out like I was able to finish pretty strong for the last six
I mean, if
miles.
you finish 30 seconds to a minute, that's a
great-
perfect
that's a
race.
great
Like that's
race,
pretty
yeah.
darn perfect, right? And what are anything kind of any stories about either the aid stations or the people that you saw out there?
The one that forgot to give us water.
Yeah, I had to fill up my own water.
Yikes!
Yeah.
I could
it
tell
happens.
it wasn't happening very quickly, so
Yeah.
I was just like, I'm just gonna do this and be on my way. And the aid stations are always on the wrong side. I don't know.
Yeah,
every
they were always, you
time.
had to run extra distance to get
Every
there.
time. What did I say today on one of them?
If I was trying to win, I'd be pretty mad right now.
If I was trying to break sub 3 here, I'd be pretty upset because I had to
It's
do.
not the course you try to break something.
No, I guess you're not trying to break sub 3. Speaking of, the winner did like I want to say 3:15 or something.
Was it Devin Drury?
I don't remember who it was, but the half was like 1:36. Like
So you could have won that.
every Sunday in the last 3 months, I ran a 1:36 half. I think, like as part of my training.
Yeah.
But
But I have to say, like the day, like I don't think you could have tailor-made a nicer day for a
It was very, very.
a little hot at the
a
end.
little hot at the end.
Yeah, but I mean, like.
But to tailor make it, you'd ask for a little colder at the end.
Yeah,
Sure.
Okay.
But it was beautiful out there.
Yeah.
Nice course too.
It's about as
Hard,
good as you
but
can
nice.
get on a September or whatever it is, 21st.
It's better than 90% of the days, 95% of the days we've had.
Yeah, I agree. But he said tailor-made, Charlie. If you're tailor-making a day, I'd take less sun at the end.
Yeah,
fair
And
enough.
I would start at 8.
I guess what I'm saying is if you get a day that's in the top 5%,
You're cracking up.
you're happy.
You're so happy you're cracking up.
would have taken a south wind instead of a west wind.
There you go.
Yeah.
It's another
The west
different
wind on that
wind.
long stretch was killer.
Different.
Yeah.
But you might have.
Yeah, but the
But it
west
was
wind was
15K.
it was the last 6 miles were downwind too.
I know.
Were they?
You had the hills.
Yeah, they were.
Would have taken a different. Well, next time we come, we'll order a different
order a
wind.
different wind.
Order a different wind. How do you feel about your result today?
I'm pumped.
Yeah, like that's a great result.
Yeah. 345, 340 was always super stretch. And the bonk we talked about at mile 20 was very real for me. I went to 10-minute miles all of a sudden, out of nowhere. But my nutrition was great, my hydration was great. My legs just stopped working.
Yeah, I don't think it's a bonk. I think it's a wall.
Fair.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's not you. It's not the day. It's just everybody. Everybody that I've ever met
Well,
that does
especially your first.
your first marathon. That's what I was gonna say. Everyone
I
that
think
does
my
their.
last mile, the last half of my last mile, I finished at 7:10, 7:15 minute mile.
Yeah, you look good there at the end.
Well,
You finished
the girl
strong.
who passed me, like at mile 23, dragged me along the whole way. I was like, hey, I can do this.
Okay, I saw her at mile 7, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she passed me at mile 22, 23.
That was her first
ever marathon.
And she was still deciding if she was going to do the full or just turn it to half.
Yeah, because she
Part of why I sprinted at the end.
signed up for Toronto and I guess couldn't do it or something, she was telling me. I chatted with her for about a mile. She was asking me about where the turn was, as though I'm an expert in the course. I was like, it's up ahead here. You can't miss it. Yeah. Stay vigilant. I was kind of running with you guys. Then I ran with her. Then I'll ask you about that in a sec. And then the last 3 miles, I was just doing 9-minute miles. I was just, except the time I stopped to piss, and then I did a 9:20. And then I'd catch up to you guys. I did an 8:40. But aside from that, I was doing 9-minute miles. And then right at the end, I saw a guy with 3 miles left. He had an Ironman hat on backwards.
Yeah, the guy. Yeah, that's our buddy.
Not that guy.
Okay.
Different guy. So I go, hey, Ironman. Of course, every time you see an Ironman, what do you say? What Ironman did you do?
Yeah.
And then you just hope.
No one's ever asked me that.
Do you ever wear Ironman gear?
I have my little belt.
You gotta own it.
My little belt.
Yeah, nobody asked you about the belt. So it turns out he did Penticton. And I said, oh, wow, awesome.
The one without the swim.
A month ago without the swim, except his name is Tom Vanderbregge. Following him on Strava now. They canceled the swim. He was so pissed off.
Yeah.
He did the swim after on his own.
That's awesome.
I was like, whoa, props, dude. And then he's like,
I think there's some people that just decided not to do it or that one.
No, like nobody did the swim.
No, so they announced, okay, we're not doing the swim.
And money back was an option.
People had the option to not do it.
Yeah. Because the water was too cold, apparently.
Too cold, yeah.
So anyways, I started talking to him. And all of a sudden, he was doing, I don't know, like he was recovering from an Ironman. And then he did a 50-miler last weekend. So he reminds me of me. He's just doing because anyways, his story is he weighed 270 pounds a year ago. A year and a half ago, call it. And he's like me 2 years ago. Like he did his first Ironman. He wasn't quite ready. He did his first marathon, 5-hour marathon. And then he signed up for an Ironman, 15-hour Ironman. And now he's just like, he's in love and he's like doing all the races. And he reminds...
Did he finish?
I think he did a 2-hour half. We finished together, 1:58. But like he just did a 50-miler last weekend, and he just did an Ironman 4 weeks ago. So he's just coming out here for fun, right? Yeah. He's from Saint Genevieve, and I ended up chatting with him. And it was a little slower. It was like 9:20s, but I was like, I want to talk to this guy. So I just like whatever. I ran with him the last couple of miles. It was cool, so cool to reminisce. What about you? Have you ever done an Ironman? Funny you should ask. Funny you should ask. I've done 4. Which one do you want to hear about? Yeah, I snuck it. Oh, once he wins.
the old drop the Boston in the comments.
Funny you should ask. Oh, Ironman. You know what I found about that Ironman? Last Ironman, the race, it was a little harder than Boston. And when I did, I didn't tell you I did Boston? Oh, in New York? Oh, I didn't tell you? Yeah, no, it was fun. He's seemed like a great guy. I don't know. I chatted with him for about half an hour. So I met him, and then we chatted for a bit. And so that's all of a sudden my story is we're mid-convo and he's talking about his race. And then we kind of just got to the finish line and we didn't even know that we were done kind of thing. It came up quick, the half marathon, I guess when you're easing into it. So Simo, how about you? Funny stories or stuff that happened today?
No, not really.
Second marathon, you happy with your time?
Yeah, I'm happy considering I didn't, I've been training for it, but I didn't do the full build, and it's a hard course, and I wasn't sure where I was going to be at. So yeah, no, I don't think I could have done anything different. It's great running with my new buddy here, and
Sive, yeah, you guys did 20 miles together.
20 miles together, lots of talking.
More time than you spent with your spouse in the last week, probably.
Yeah, no, it made the time fly by. It was a good day, and great to be out there.
Nice. What does it say, Charlie? Charlie's showing me something on his Strava. What is it?
Well, there was a segment at the end of the course.
Yeah, the marathon segment?
Yeah.
And what did you do?
Finish line, 3rd overall.
3rd overall ever?
3rd all time. Yeah.
Okay, 3rd best finish ever. Almost a KOM. Because Charlie did not want to get beat by the 20-year-old. Yeah. He showed me his pace for that last 200 meters. It was, what is it?
5:44.
5:44 miles, minute per mile. Yeah, so that's a good sprint. That's an all-out sprint. Remember you said you wouldn't be able to even do, what did you say? We debated yesterday how long you could run at the 2-hour marathon pace. How long do you guys think you guys could run
I don't think 10 seconds. I don't know.
So that is 13.1 on the treadmill. 13.1 miles an hour on the treadmill.
Yeah.
It doesn't go that high on mine. I don't know what I could do, but anyways, you did close to that.
No, 5:44 is a big difference.
You're close, Charlie. You're close at the end of a marathon. It's not bad. It's not bad. So good news. Simo decided he's doing a 100-miler with us.
Yeah, I decided on the course. I think considering I'm in.
Oh, you can take my spot. I decided I'm not doing it now. Just kidding.
'Cause he's in?
I was sore at the
'Cause
end.
he's in, or what?
I was like, I mean, I wasn't running fast, but by the end, I was like, my feet are sore.
No, you got to do it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But after your Ironman, you're not going to have anything. By the way, shout out to Charlie yesterday on his bike. So you're 4 weeks out from your Ironman? Charlie, 4?
I think
5.
Yeah.
5 weeks out. So he's into the weekends now, the next 3 weeks where he does 5-hour bikes with an hour jog after. And yesterday, 5 hours, 174 kilometers. Charlie?
Yeah.
35 kilometers an hour, pretty much. 34, 35 kilometers an hour,
Yeah.
which is faster than I've ever done in a segment of an Ironman. But he did it in a training run for his entire thing. So that means you are going to do like a 440 or something like that for your bike, right?
I'm hoping sub 5. Yeah.
Well, sub 5.
Feeling
Like
it.
you did it in a training run.
Yeah. And I got a better bike, and yeah. So
It's going to be sub 5 for sure. So anyway, shout out to you. And then that was yesterday. And then today you came and you did a marathon.
Yeah, I felt great actually for the marathon. So I'm really happy with the bike training. Really, that's kind of the lesson here, because I felt great running today. Like I was running slow, but yeah.
And that means what's going to happen though, you're going to do your Ironman, then you're going to get that kind of lull and you're not going to know what to do. You're going to be so pumped you have that 100-miler on the calendar, because it's going to give you...
I'm already pumped about the 100-miler.
Yeah.
I almost think I should skip my Ironman.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm so pumped for the 100.
We were talking about it at my parents' place. My dad, so do you think you walk maybe 5-6 hours? There's so many opportunities for strategizing about how to do it. I'm excited about it too. Yeah, so and I know that after Chicago, I'm going to need something to look forward to, so it's exciting. Opening the mic here, any thoughts? Next race, Sive, have you thought about that?
Might be a half Ironman next summer. Not sure if it's Hecla or go to birthplace of Rob in Des Moines.
Yeah, birthplace of Rob. That's exactly what it is. That's where I became a new man. That's birthplace of Rob.
Or just do some local races. We'll see. But next spring, summer.
Do you like the travel to go do a race concept?
Not yet. I want to do an Ironman one day, and it's kind of like save the pennies for that.
But I just want to say one thing here.
Yeah,
So
that's why I'm opening the mic.
Sive, this was your first marathon. I mean, how was the feeling at the end when you got there? And yeah.
At mile 23, I knew I was for sure finishing.
Yeah.
So the emotions were kind of gone by then.
Yeah.
And then at mile 25, I had the lady in front of me, so I was like, well, I can't let her beat me.
Yeah.
Downhill.
Nice.
So the emotion was, I was quite out of breath in the fast finish, but I was pumped.
Well, you're
5
part of
years
the
ago?
club now, so.
Never thought I'd do this 5 years ago.
It's the same thing I told Paul. I said, and he's like, a year ago, I would have never ever thought I'd be able to be in this exclusive club, and he's in it. And you're in it today. It's was there ever a doubt about, I don't know, the 4 hour or the finish or anything like that ever?
Mile 22,
You're like, oh my God.
I was like, I almost started walking and had half a stride of going to walk, and I convinced myself not to.
Wow, 30 seconds of courage?
And then I only walked between the aid station and the garbage. And I said, my goal has to be that I never stop running. And I knew if I never stopped running, I'd hit 4 hours. So never really a doubt, but...
Did you ever get into the whole, okay, if I walk 2 minutes, 1 minute, I'm still okay? No. Okay.
I was trying to get Paul to do that at some point, because he walked for like 5 minutes straight at one point.
Hey, Paul, that's enough walking.
That's what I was trying to do, but he had a hard time. He was like, he thought he was going to puke, and so yeah, he did a really good job to finish. I think we went just miles 14 to 18. We just went too hard.
Was he taking his nutrition?
Yeah, I think he did take a bunch. So I don't really know what happened. I think he just went too hard from 14 to 18, because when your heart rate's that high, it's hard to take your nutrition, I think. So
Here's my brother's the guy who my cousin Justin flew out from Vancouver last year to do a half marathon, and he's like, oh, I think I might be able to do sub 2. So like we're running, and it's pretty clear early on that sub 2 is not going to happen. And Charlie, it was clear for me that it was going to be a 2:10 or a 2:08 or something. And Charlie's like, "Okay, Justin, we're losing time. Like we're not going to make it." He's like grilling him, treating like. But I mean, I know he's like one of your best friends, so you could say that to him because he's like grilling him. And she says like, "Charlie, it's going to be what it's going to be." Okay, fair enough. 2:07 or whatever. That was a fun day too. Simo, you have your next race is the 100 miler in St. George, Utah.
WFPS.
Oh, yeah, WFPS.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fun one.
Yeah, and then
That's a fast one.
yeah,
You don't have to worry about the hills.
I gotta get moving on that though, because
What do you mean? Oh, just get a bib?
I gotta make some improvements.
Oh, okay, like get some speed work in.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I think
Yeah,
I gotta
like 2
get back.
weeks, man.
What's that?
You got like 2 weeks.
Guys, you gotta get going.
The grains
No,
training plan.
No, it's 4 weeks, but you only need a 1 week taper.
Yeah.
So you got 3 weeks of build here, but you probably need a week of recovery.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
So
but
like
it's,
maybe a Wednesday, Thursday speed workout this week.
Well, I feel like
Yeah.
you definitely have the endurance because like you did close to a negative today.
yeah.
You just need a tiny bit of speed
So
work.
do some tempo, couple hard tempos there.
That's got to be an episode that we got to talk about, Charlie.
Yeah.
We got to like cover what you should do to increase your speed. Give examples of workouts.
Well, it depends. Like
But
I
you
know
need
it
to be able
depends.
To sustain the speed too, and like I think my slow runs have to be slower.
Listen to Rob.
Yeah, I mean
More
they're
miles,
slow,
less
but
pace.
I don't think there's any shame in slowing that down and building that gas tank.
Agreed.
And
And leave some gas for the speed workouts.
100%.
absolutely.
And then go hard on the speed workouts twice a week.
Yeah.
Do your long, build up the mileage. In between, you just do whatever, either cross or more running or hockey or whatever.
Yeah.
And do 2 a week of speed building. That's what I would do if I were
2
you.
or 1 even.
But he's in a hurry
He's young,
to do a half
he's
marathon.
young, he can do 2.
3 weeks, he can do 2. So that, and then you taper for a week.
No, I would say 1 tempo, 1 interval.
Yeah.
For him, because he's young.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the interval, you do like 400s.
400s at the track, and then I'll do like 10K or about 10K tempo.
Yeah,
something like that.
you could even do like it's 400s, but then maybe 800s, and then maybe 1Ks or something.
200s. Those are fun.
200s are fun.
Yeah,
Why? Why no 200s?
200s are good. I think he's too close to his race. He's not gonna get the benefit of it until I think like the 1Ks. The 1Ks or 2Ks, he would get. I think would get the benefit.
It takes
of
longer to get the benefit from a 200 than a 400? Than a 1K? I'm asking.
I think the closer you are to your race, the more specific you want it, right? So like some hard 2K intervals,
Okay.
just like above his half marathon pace, are going to be really good for him. I
Should
think.
be way above this half marathon pace. 20 seconds.
Well, slightly above, yeah.
Okay.
But those are going to feel hard, but then it'll get you ready.
They're so rewarding though.
Yeah.
Those are the best when you crush those midweek workouts
Oh, 100%.
and you're like, I just did something today. And sometimes I wouldn't be able to do it.
I just wonder if this race today will help me for
Yes. 4 weeks, right?
4 weeks.
That was a max
Yeah,
effort today?
yeah.
Probably not, actually.
Depends, yeah.
You're probably, so the next 3 weeks, yeah. But I mean, today was an A race, right?
But I don't think
Not really, no.
You didn't really put that much training into this thing, right?
No.
So I think it probably helped. I think it probably helped.
But I mean, you're building for more than just this WFPS, right? So
Well,
just
totally.
just
I
keep building,
I just
keep
signed
building.
Up for it. I mean, it'd be nice to PR every race you do, but
yeah, I did that for a while, and that's all I did. I just did another race and did another race and did another race and did another race.
But like since my 70.3 Ironman, I feel like I've had a tough time improving. Like I think I told you this. I thought that after that 70.3 race, I would notice some pretty big, significant gains in my fitness, and I feel like it's kind of plateaued, which is why I think maybe I gotta slow it down on those slow runs.
I have a theory.
yeah, well, I
Same
mean,
as mine.
I've been tracking my events, Simo, and like to me, there's like a 2 month after a big event like that where
Ironman might be like 2.5 or 3 months.
kind of, even though you don't notice it, like you kind of need the recovery before you start building again. Like
You're having a hard time building off of a low in
Yeah,
in your training plan.
you just have to be patient after those. Because
Yeah, three days later, Sonia and I did a half marathon mountain run.
The what?
We were on Vancouver Island and we went hiking and running every day.
Right.
We did like a 10 miler 2 days after. We did a half marathon, mountain climb up and down. Like we did tons. So I didn't really give my like a full like week off to recover or anything like that. So
I never forget when I got back from Ironman Worlds and I couldn't do anything. And I was like, what is happening? Why is my body not moving? I couldn't do any workouts. I couldn't do... And it took me like 2 months to get back to being able to... And it was kind of like what you're saying. I had not plateaued. I had like dropped. My performance was dropped.
yeah.
So maybe you're going through a little bit of that. But plateau's nothing. Clearly you're getting in better shape.
Yeah, no, totally. And I'm like more motivated than ever. I'm just as excited. Yeah, I know it'll come back, and this is like part of the journey. It's part of the phases. Like you learn, and like this is all still new, and now we know what to expect for next time.
Yeah. And then you got a new half Ironman buddy here.
Yeah.
Half Ironman, yep.
Yeah.
But TV, when are you guys doing a full Ironman?
Yeah, both of you.
We talked about that on our run.
And? Do you want to share? Do you care to share?
Sure. I'm thinking. I haven't really looked too hard, but I'm thinking Phoenix in November.
Next year, yeah. That's a fairly easy... Well, I mean, no Ironmans are easy.
Cheater Ironman.
California.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something that might work for my calendar, but yeah, and there's also one in Wisconsin, Madison, that looks kind of fun, and it's driving distance. So
One
it's
of those-
easy to get your bike down there.
Is it the bike or the hill or the
Apparently-
jog that's hilly in there?
I think
Bike.
both.
They're
The
both
bike
hilly?
is super. My coworker did it.
Yeah, the bike's
He's on
super
the
hilly.
leadership, and he's like, the hills never stop.
Yeah.
They're not huge, but
They're
it's
just rolling.
consistent.
Yeah.
Always. So.
Yeah. So I haven't taken a full look at it, but I'm definitely doing.
But
one.
TV, if you did Hecla half, you could easily do December. When is Tucson? November?
I don't know. I think that
There's
one's
a
in
Tucson
November.
one?
Yeah, it's early.
You're talking not
Tempe.
Tucson, Phoenix, Tempe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
November 20th
November.
or something
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
November. Because I was debating when I picked mine this year. I was debating between that one and the California one because of the time frame.
For what it's worth, I really, really, really hope you guys sign up for that full one. It's kind of like doing your first marathon. It's a badge. It's something you'll always have. It's something pretty special. So I hope you guys do it.
Plus, you guys will be able to talk to us and get some advice because
Yeah, that's the only reason, really. Charlie just wants to coach you guys.
We're all gonna do one together one day.
Well, I could potentially.
Well, I feel like when we started, like, good thing we had a coach, but like, there's so many things.
Holy shit! I still am so clueless.
Yeah.
But think of like I just went there and I did it. Oh my god, that was so.
Which is
stupid.
incredible.
I didn't know what I was doing. I'm just gonna do an Ironman this weekend. Have you ridden your bike outside? Not yet, but
That's the thing. I only rode my bike like twice outside before I did my Ironman.
like zero outside bikes, 0 open water swims.
Well, same with me. My first triathlon. at
That's
Birds
right,
Hill, I
you
only
had the
did-
same
I
thing.
did a handful of outdoor bike rides, and then everything else is
Yeah, I
on the
saw you
indoor
at
trail.
Birds Hill that one day.
Yeah, that was probably my big one, and it wasn't even that big. It was like a 40-kilometer, a few tours around the park there. But yeah, it'll be a lot different this time, that's for sure.
Well, it is a journey, and proud that you guys are like you're on your way to whatever the heck you guys want to do. That's the cool thing about running and or fitness and or Ironman or whatever. You get what you want out of it. You can put whatever you want in, and you can get whatever you want out, right?
Yeah, you keep doing more, and you realize that you can achieve more and more and more, and your goals start shifting, and you starts evolving, and then next thing you know, 2-3 years go by, and you're like, I didn't even, like last year, I didn't think I was going to do any of this stuff, and then you do it, and then like you just never know what's going to be next.
Next thing you know, you're on a plane to St. George, Utah.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
All right, CV, first ever marathon. Congratulations, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe, give us a 5-star review wherever you listen to your podcast. Tell your friends and family. If you'd like to hear or for us to interview anyone, your buddies, your friends, someone in the running community, send us a note. Follow us on Strava, Rob Tatro, Charlie Tatro, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks for tuning in, guys.